Hello everyone and welcome to the Hungarian Grand Prix, round 8 of SR Season 8. We are at the Hungarian Home Grand Prix for 5 drivers on the current grid. Today we write history as SR arrives at its 100th Grand Prix. Out of the 16 Hungarian drivers, only Maple and BDF could step on their home podium, as well as Hungary's second most registered region of SR drivers. The 4.4 km long track consists of 14 turns, 6 to the left and 8 to the right, as well as 2 DRS zones to promote overtaking. In Season 5 we saw a beautiful scrap between Wesson and Skatey down turn 1, out of the two, Skatey coming out as a winner. As well as just recently in Season 7, we saw Marcin using the safety car restart to its very maximum, overtaking 2 drivers on the safety car line.
Hello and welcome to SOR 100th Grand Prix. We are today at Hungary. Shout out to the guys in chat, Daniko, Triton, Rufel. Very pumped about this one today. It's good turnout. We've got 19 drivers and we're already into qualifying. So let's see, we've got Pixel and it looks like Pixel and a Lancer are out, and we've got a Mercedes. There's plenty of people heading out on track now, so let's see who shall we follow. I'll just set up my spectator menu so we can get going. Let's see. Okay, I think a Lancer was out first, so let's have a look at him. Now, Hungary, as we've seen with the intro circuit guide, this is quite a technical track, very easy to get it wrong, especially the Sector 2, you can see a Lancer here going through the S's. A lot of throttle control needed, and for that fast right-hander, you see a Lancer just going through now. It takes a driver to be very brave. And Marcin S has left the session, so he's having connection issues already. I think Lancer is actually he's already on a hot lap now, so he's just coming to the end of the hot lap. He's on ultra soft tires, so ultra soft are also going to be the fastest tire choice today. They've also got soft and medium available to all drivers. Actually, Lancer, that looked like he was just coming off his out lap, so he's back onto his hot lap now. Let's see how he does. This is Sector 1. Fast left-hander here, just need to feather the throttle and then full speed as you go through that right-hander flat out. You can see down to 6th gear. Get that turn in, that is crucial. A lot of time to be made up here, and also this fast right. It looked like Lancer might have got an invalidated lap there as he went and took too much curb. Daniko, yes, it is hard commentating on my own. If only I had someone here with me. I usually do have a co-commentator, Mo, but he is currently on tour, apparently. So he's living the rockstar life. And if anybody fancies their hand at commentating alongside me, just drop Maple a message or myself. Our Lancer here is coming to the last corner and crosses the line. Non-surprising, he goes first with a 1:15.865. It's not a bad lap from the Lancer, nice banker. We're going to see a lot of times being put on the board right now. So we've got a Martin G is 0.5 behind Lancer. Dogobot with a 1:17, so we've got the three guys up there, roughly about a second between all three of them, all on different tire strategies, so you can see there the advantage of the Ultrasoft is quite apparent. So Dogobot, Fox puts a time on the board, Marcel with a 1:25, that is not a good lap. He must have, we did see a yellow flag there recently, so that must have been Marcel had an issue during his hot lap. You see Martin G there just had to lift off the throttle massively, so that will cost him a lot of time. Doesn't have quite a lot of faith in the soft tires. Struggling a little bit. And it's worth mentioning that we have a new driver today. Hazy joins Split 1 drivers. He's been promoted from Split 2. Martin G crossed the line with 1:16.4, so he's put in a banker lap on those sauce, so we may well see these guys put on the ultra sauce as the track warms up and rubbers in. See who else we got on a hot lap. Now we've got Keyboard Magnuson, the keyboard warrior, for the win. Keyboard Magnuson, I know this driver quite well. He drives in my own league, SLR, and has been impressing everybody with his keyboard skills. He decides better than to continue with the lap, instead going into the pit, so abandoning his hot lap. Hazy has yet to come out of the pits, so he is happy enough to let the other drivers show him what they've got. So Lancer still remaining at the top of the field at 1:15.865, so that is the time to beat for now. We've got Marcin, he is able to get back into the session, which is great to see, and he is on, well, I was going to say he's on a hot lap, but he is pulled into the pit, so another driver abandoning their lap, so plenty of time left in this qualifying session, so not quite panic stations just yet, but Marcin will have to wait until his teammate Don Alexi gets sorted out in the pits there. Don Alexi he's currently in 10th position, so if we have a look at Rufel has won the last 2 races and is currently at the top of the scoreboard for SOR Split 1 in Season 8 with 129 points. Closely followed by his teammate Wendy with 109 points, and then we have Doughmaster in 3rd, so he's been chipping away, he's had 2 podiums this season so far. Didn't do too good in Germany, came at 11th, so missed out on some points, but he is consistently scored points before that. And we're just hearing reports of Marcin S was having issues with audio. Hopefully those are resolved for now. So that is unfortunate for him. He's still in the pit, so trying to resolve those technical issues. Hopefully he gets sorted by the race. TZ Bro, another one of the faster guys in the split here. He's on the medium tire, so a few drivers just trying their hand at different tire strategies. Excuse me. We're hearing reports Martin Ness might not be able to qualify, so might not be able to get those technical issues sorted in time for the race. Bro entering in this. He's in sector 2 right now. You can see here just those medium tires, just a bit more slippery than the softer compound. Just not able to carry as much speed in there, and he's got a car behind him, so I wonder if he's actually holding up. It looks like that might be Don Alexi. Yeah, that is Don Alexi. So Don Alexi's lap was compromised there by Bro in sector 3. I wonder if Don Alexi is saying he's on a hot lap, but he's not able to go faster that time. Unfortunately, he was impeded on that lap, so let's drive on board with Don Alexi and see if he's continuing. He might go on to set another hot lap here. And just see he's feeding the throttle there, and then full speed, try not to take too much curb on the exit of that corner, and then from 7th down to 6th quickly as he's turning left there. You just have to be very courageous going into that corner. And now we're into sector 2, very slow chicane. You can take some curb there, but it doesn't stabilize the car. And then just for this, so much time to be gained and lost in this section here. Just from 6th here, just on to 5th, and then riding the curb, down into sector 3. And this slow left-hander, it's a long hairpin, and then again, you just want to slingshot the car, stay close to the curb, get the best possible exit. And Don Alexi just slowed down there right at the end of the lap, so that is a bit of a strange one there. Obviously did not better his time, but we have Wessel as went second with a 1:16.017 on Ultrasoft. So I imagine we're going to see a lot of guys putting on Ultrasoft now, just trying to place themselves nicely on the grid for the race. Don Alexi getting it all kinds of wrong. Maybe actually moving out of the way for a Red Bull, it looks like. I wonder if that's XOG out on a hot lap on those soft tires. So Keyboard Magazine was able to set a time there in the medium set of tires, 1:18.398, which is currently the slowest time on the board. This looks like a fast one now for XOG. Missed his apex there, would have lost some time, but continuing on with the lap. It looks tidy enough. With 6:40 on the clock, there is still time to set this lap, get in the pits, get a fresh set of tires on, and out again. We see yellow flags in sector 1. We're staying on board with XOG as he crosses the line, goes into 7th, 1:16.8, which isn't actually too bad on those soft tires. So I'm just looking now, we've got Windy on the medium tires, and he's managed to place himself, well, he's just being bumped onto 7th there. But that is quite a lap time for those medium tires. We've seen how some drivers have been struggling with the grip or lack of. But Windy making them work, which will, I imagine, will favor him in the race. But we see a lot of the drivers starting to put on Ultrasoft, so you can see the top 5 guys have Ultrasofts on, so, and a lot of unfamiliar names at the top of the grid. We've got Wessel there, has placed himself 3rd. A Lancer is in 2nd, and Pixel got him 4th, so, and new driver Hazy actually, yet to mention, he's in 6th place on the soft tire. And when he pulls into the pits, we will keep an eye. Oh, yeah, he did a Hamilton I believe that's called. That move. No harm done though, no harm done. Just a little tap. Nothing to see here. Just two drivers yet to set laps now. We know Marson S is struggling with an audio issue. But Ruffel, now we've seen in the past, Ruffel has taken a few laps just to get that hot lap, that valid hot lap time on the board. Excuse me. And I reckon that's down to the fact that Ruffel is, obviously he's won the last 3 races, so he is like right on the cutting edge of, you know, the top tier driver skill set. So he's obviously, I mean, the margin for error when you're this fast is very, very minimal. So let's ride on board with him as he crosses the line. And he starts his hot lap now. He's on soft tires now. We will see how Ruffel is able to make these manage. I mean, I'm imagining he should build up in the top 5 if he can get a good lap in. So far so good for Ruffel. Bit of a lock up there, but hitting the apex nicely. And then pedal to the metal as it's flat out for the fast right-hander. Dipping down the slip gear into the lap. Can invalidate lap there, but it looked like he should get away with that one. Again, riding the curb on the exit. And for this slow chicane section, taking a little bit of curve just to get the car turned out a bit. Car looked like it wanted to go one direction, but Ruffel forced it to go the way he wanted. And this looks like a very fast sector time that Ruffel's been put in, so he's so far so good. Marson S joining the session again. Hopefully he is able to get out for at least one lap, but Ruffel just nailing that apex in that second to last corner. And again on the final corner, won a little bit wide there, but it won't cost him too much. And he's put himself in the 7th position on soft tires. That will do him rightly. So he is essentially the fastest guy not on ultra sauce currently. Probably closely down by TZ Bro, also on soft tires. So very good lap time there from Ruffel, and it looks like he might be on charging head with another one, but I think that he just went wide there, and it's looks like an invalidated lap there. So we do know that Marson S has one out on an out lap. We're hoping his issues is being resolved. That's an unusual issue. No audio. Obviously that will cause havoc for any driver. You really need to be in tune and listen to. Oh, nice save there from Marson S. And shout out to Bidden Sibilary. Sorry if I murdered your name. Thanks for joining us. We have only 1.5 minutes left of qualifying to go, and then it's time for the 100th race for SOR Split 1. And you can see Marson S backing off a little bit here. Maybe he's just creating a little bit of space between him and the Lancer. Actually pulling right off track to let some guys pass is Marson S. Marson S is thinking, was he pulling the pits there? He's slowing right down. He's thinking about going on. We've got 57 seconds to cross that line, and he will get to put a lap in. There's someone stopped on track and have left a little present in the middle of the track there. It looked like some kind of tire cylinder type thing in the middle of the track, so hopefully that won't be too distracting for the other drivers. 5 drivers have retired from this session. Marson S is the last driver to post their time. Let's hope he can get one. It looks like his audio issues must be sorted out. He's not doing too badly here. He's on the ultra soft. Again, the car getting a little bit wild on the exit of that fast left-hander. wonder if it's a setup issue or if it's just a technical issue, is throwing Marcin S off his rhythm. Windy as well, retiring. So Marcel CS remains at the top of the leaderboard with a 1:15.7. Valencia can push down to third, and Pixels actually picked up that second spot. Oh, and Marcin S coming up against some slow cars here. Keeper Marcin nicely moving out of the way. Very nice of him to do so. Looks like Marcin S is going to get a time in on these ultra softs. How fast can he go? You could see him getting a little bit wild there in the initial sectors, and he puts himself in fourth position, so salvaged the qualifying session, and that is not too bad for Marcin S. Puts himself ahead of Wessel TL123, so not bad, not bad, not bad. Other honourable mentions, we got Keeper Magnussen was only able to go as fast as 17th. Unusual from him. He's usually one of the fast boys. John McLean as well down there in 18th. So we're seeing a couple of drivers struggle with track, and it is a track that favours some drivers over others. Such a that middle sector, the technical flowing left right combo, it can cost you a lot of time if you don't get it right, and you almost have to get into the rhythm of it to get the flow, or else you will just get it all kinds of wrong. So just starting at the back then, we've got Fox in last position. There's only 1.7 seconds covering 19th to first, so these drivers are all around about, not too much difference there. Keeper Magnussen back in 17th. Duelmaster in 16th. Exog 15th. So just mentioning the Duelmaster there. He's actually our driver to watch today. Yeah, and as you can see from the graphic, he has started quite a number of Grand Prix and finished quite a number as well. So if my maths is correct, if this is 100th Grand Prix, he's done around 88 Grand Prix. He must have started around season 2 or just the end of season 1, so he's a veteran SOR driver. He didn't do too good in Germany the last round. He came 11th, so missed out on the points, but we've seen some consistent finishes from him. He finished 4th in the first Grand Prix, and was on the podium, picking up 3rd in Baku. 7th position in Canada, round 3. In France he was 4th. Again in Austria he was 3rd. And Great Britain 5th. So he's been on a tear. Just that last race where he finished 11th, we did see him get caught up in some incidents. But yes, looking forward to this one a lot. Okay, I think I might have I missed something there? Wessel shown as the top driver, so I apologize if I missed that, but it looks like Wessel actually won fastest in the qualified section. He must have just posted that time at the very end of the session, so this is very, very interesting. We've got a new pole sitter in Wessel. Someone we've seen struggle in past races, so I wonder if this is just one of his favorite tracks and we're going to see a good performance from him today. He will be starting in pole position. But he is on the softer tires, so I imagine he may well have to go for a 2-stop strategy. So obviously the 1-stop strategy is going to be the prime one to go on. DRS settings sorted. As the drivers form up on the grid. For the 100 SOR Grand Prix Hungary. Looks like some car is actually not being able to take up position on the grid there correctly. We need to get a better... Oh, there we go. Okay, so we got Wessel in pole position, Marshall in second with 5 lights. And we are go for Hungary Grand Prix for SOR. And it looked like Wessel got off to a good start there, but Marshall S is keeping him honest behind. He's going for the inside line. He covers off Lenser. And Marcel was able to take that tighter line there, but something happened to Marcel S. He got dropped back a little bit there. Not quite sure what happened, but Wessel remains the race leader. Marcel S indeed struggling. He's down to 3rd position. And Lenser and Marcin are picking up 4th, 5th position. Oh, we've got a car off track. It looks like Yoko and Don Alexei have had to come together. Yes, that is quite a bad accident. Wheels missing, debris everywhere. We're going to see a safety car, I imagine, for that. Let's keep an eye out for that. But at the front, Wessel remains the race leader. Pixel is right behind him in the Ferrari, with Marcel S in 3rd. Lenser's car, it looks like Marcin went really wide there, but not costing him too much time. And wow, 125, also going very wide on that fast right-hander. So already 2 drivers out of the running. Let's see, Pixel got up the inside of Wessel there. Not able to make that stick, and Marcel is fighting back. He wants that 2nd position. Of course, DRS is not activated yet, but it's on the start finish that it will be. Pixel, oh, quite an aggressive block there. He looked like he moved under braking. And Wessel going a little bit wide, might compromise his exit. It looks like it has. But Pixel and Marcel remain behind. Pixel tried to put it up the inside. Wessel going for the wider line. Oh, and he hits Pixel. There was contact there, and Pixel is dropping down the order. He's dropped right down to 5th position. It's unfortunate for him. That is quite a nasty one. And Hazy, it looks like Hazy has left the session, but there's no issue with car. Okay. Lost connection to Steam. That's not good. Okay, Steam is down. Okay. That is unfortunate. Yeah, I think Steam has gone offline. Yeah, Steam is down. It looks like all drivers will be kicked out. This is absolutely terrible. It's the worst possible time for Steam to go down. It just had to happen, didn't it? On the 100th race for SOR. Oh dear. Oh dear. Right. Just bear with me a second then. We will be back momentarily. Just give me a second there. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. We apologize for the technical issue. Steam went down, so we had to abandon the race. So we actually have got a restart. We've managed to, thankfully, we've got the same grid as the qualifying. So Wessel is indeed at the top of the grid. He's pole position. Wessel 1, 2, 3 in the Red Bull, and then Marcel CS in second. Pixel third. Fourth is Alencer. So we are going to have a complete restart of this race. So this is Hungary. I guess you could call this the 100.1 race for SOR. It had to happen today, of all days. I've never seen that happen before, but yeah, Steam went completely down, so unfortunate. But it shouldn't have too much impact on the race. I mean, we did get the initial couple of laps in for the first run of the race, and Wessel was able to hold on to the first position, but we saw Pixel lost out massively, so he gets his second chance here. Don Alexei as well is back in the game. Yoko, Don Alexei and Yoko obviously had that incident which took them both out of the original race, but they are back in, so they will be glad of that technical issue. Sometimes these things happen, sometimes they go in your favor, sometimes not. So let's hope for another tidy start to the Hungary Grand Prix. The camera angle to start here is always a bit annoying in that you can't see this front, guys. Right there we go. 5 lights, and they're off. A bit of a slow start there from all the drivers. Wessel looks like he got a good start, but Marcel is actually in the lead. He's taking the lead. He's on the inside line, and he makes it stick. Wessel is fighting back, however, and he's trying to go for that inside line. I wonder if he's going to stick his nose up there. He almost is, but Marcel has taken the position nice and clean. Overtake from Marcel at the start. And I see the cars at the back there, a few going wide, but no incidents this time. We've already had a warm-up race start, so it's good to see. And we've seen a few position changes. Yoko is up to 6th. He's made up 1 position. Don Alexei actually made up 2 positions, so this restart is an absolute dream for him so far. I've seen Wendy is being pushed right down to the very back of the track, but Marcel S remains in 1st position. Marcin S is pushing hard on Wessel, so he's up to 3rd position. He's gained 2 positions so far. So this is also working out for Marcin S. And one interesting feature of this restart is the fact that all the guys will have a fresh set of tires on. They will not have any laps done. Usually whenever they go from qualifying to the race, the top 10 guys anyway would have to start on the tires they set their hot lap on, so there will be some wear in those tires, but not now that the race has been restarted. And let's get back to the action here as Marcin is staying with his top 3 group. Wessel too is hanging on to the back of Marcel, but there's a little bit of a gap forming, and Marcin has put a lot of pressure onto Wessel. Wessel is showing himself in the mirrors of Marcel, doing a lot of curve there. You see how Marcel, sorry, it goes quite wide there and just swings the car in, trying to get some extra momentum. Marcel covering off the inside line, but Wessel is able to go around the outside, gets squeezed out by Marcel, and Wessel has got the inside line for this corner, and Marcin looked to be the benefactor of it. There is contact. Let's get a better camera angle of this one. Let's almost go free wide into the final corner. Wessel is actually taking the lead back of this Grand Prix. Brilliant stuff from Wessel, but Marcel S picking up a bit of a slipstream, and Marson swinging into the last second there, almost free wide once again for turn 1. And this is very interesting stuff at the top of the grid. Wessel is now back down to 2nd position, so no change really from the previous lap. We've got Yoko as well in 4th, doing really well, staying behind these top 3 guys. These top 3 guys obviously fighting out, so it is favouring the guys behind like Yoko and Don Alexi and Hazy. And Hazy's another guy who's benefited from this restart. We saw he had some connection issue in the original race, and he's now in 6th position, although it is showing him a lap down. Let's have a look at these intervals. It's hard to take my eyes off these top right guys. We've got a Lancer is actually out. Oh, we see someone spin out there. That's Yoko gets spun out, and a Lancer is also, he's left the session there. Yoko just trying to get the car back on track. I wonder if he's picked up any damage in the car. Can't see any from this angle. Don Alexi's got a 5-second stop group penalty. Corner cutting, gain 1 place. That might be a erroneous time penalty, so that may well get removed after the race. But as you often see, Yoko doing some donuts there on the second to last corner. His tires mighty cold after that off he had. Let's go back to the front. We're missing out on all this action. Marcel is maintaining that 1st position. We're right on board with him for this fast left-hander. Just riding the curve a little bit. He's got, I was going to say he has a little bit of a gap to Wessel, but Wessel is keeping the pressure on him massively. Let's enter sector 2. Let's have a look down the order. I don't want to miss out on any action here. It's still showing Hazy is 1 lap down, but yet, yeah, he's 9th position, so that obviously is some incorrect information. But he has dropped quite a few positions. I believe he was 7th just the last lap. Rufel is gained 6 positions. He's in 5th position, and Exog has gained the most positions out of any driver. He is currently in 8th position. Domaster as well, big benefactor from this rerun. He's up 6th position into 10th position. We're seeing Keeper Magnuson making his way through the field. The back here, he's on the back of Dogobot. Didn't have a great. Oh, Dogobot getting it really wide there on the exit off the final corner, and that's going to help Keeper Magnuson massively. Yep, he's dropped that interval down to 0.384. I'm closing in all the time. There's been a change of position while 125 is being passed by Exog, who's now made up 8 positions from the start. Martin G got a free 2nd time penalty, so we'll try and keep an eye on the penalties. They will start popping up all over the show. I imagine this is a track that is so easy to pick up time penalties, especially in sector 2. Rufel is closing in on Dan Alexi and these top 4 guys. There is a battle brewing here as we enter into the 6th lap of the Grand Prix. The 2 Mercedes 4th and 3rd. Rufel is loving these fights ahead of him because it means he can close in on these guys, hopefully pick them off one by one. It looks like Marson has tried to pick up a position there on Wessel. He's going around the outside and he has got the position. He almost clips Wessel on the exit. And look at this, at the DRS chain. We've got 5 drivers all fighting it out, and it looks like Marcel, he gets the inside line, and oh, Mercedes off. I believe that is Don Alexi. Is that Don Alexi? Yeah, Don Alexi just trying to get the nose up there. Marcin S has actually taken the position and he's hit Marcel. Marcel looked like he was going to go off track there, but he managed to save it. He's down to 3rd, so this is a Mercedes takeover 1-2, just like in real life. These guys have got themselves into prime position 1-2 as Marcel CS, sorry, has gone wide, and Wessel takes a 3rd position. Rufel also thinks about sending it up the inside, but this is great stuff to see. Look at this. Rufel is begging to get past Marcel. Marcel is struggling at this point in the race. We should have a look at the tires fitted actually. That would be very interesting information. Yes, so we're seeing these ultra softs starting to go off. Or actually, it's the opposite. The ultra softs are working really nicely for Marcin. Don Alexi's on the Sasso, so he's actually, out of these top guys, he's in the best position right now. There is a bit of a gap now from the previous lap. There's a lot of gaps opening up, and Mercedes 1-2 currently, and Doughmaster, looks like Doughmaster's taking a position on Hazy, and we've got Exog and Wild 125 in battle, and Rufel, looked like Rufel got a bit of contact with Marcel, but Rufel has actually got past Marcel, and Exog is right behind Marcel, so Marcel is struggling massively in these Ultrasoft. I wonder if he's overcooked those tires. They are 6 laps into the stint and will be dropping off around about now, so he is obviously struggling at this time. Exog is right behind him, putting the pressure on. It's not really a good overtaking spot here, but he sends it up the inside anyway, and some shenanigans going on there. Marcel S, it looks like, yeah, okay, we're looking at a bit of desync there. Cars conjoined at the hip, but Exog is taking the position. Marcel falls further down the order, and Marcin, there's something happened up front. Marcin is dropped down from 1st to 4th. We've got Wessel is in the lead again, and he's in the pits, so momentarily takes back the lead of the Grand Prix, but Don Alexi now speeds on ahead. He's on those soft tires, 7 laps in. Things are looking good for him. X-Status Martis G in 2nd now, and Rufel in 3rd. So Rufel, he's just been quietly chipping away and has been affected massively from all that infighting between the Mercedes guys, Wessel and Martin G. Oh, Marcel CS is out. What has happened to Marcel CS? That is terrible. We're not seeing any cars on track. It happened around there. It's somewhere in the start finish. He's lost the car and is out of this Grand Prix. So Yoko is in the final position of 17th, with John McLean, his teammate, in 16th. So McLaren 1-2 at the back. Those guys are struggling. Oh, it looks like the car isn't up to scratch for this track. Doesn't favor this track. These drivers are not. Yeah, you can just see the lack of confidence going for the sequence of corners for Yoko. May have damage on the car, maybe something to consider, but he's on the soft tire, so we'll lock it up a bit there. But let's go to the front. I'm seeing some gaps opening up here, but Rufel. Oh, Martin G locks up on the exit of turn 1. Rufel looked like he might have benefited from that massively, but again, Marcin, I apologize for the mispronunciation of words right now. I am struggling to formulate my sentences correctly. There's too much action going on. My brain cannot take it. But Martin G looks like he's struggling on those soft tires. They're only 8 laps old for all the top 7 guys on these 8-lap old soft tires. So really now it's about who is taking care of them the most. We did see Martin G fighting it out hard for the lead of the Grand Prix, so his tires may have been punished a bit more than Rufel, who's smooth. Martin G goes very wide there, must have picked up a warning at least there. And Rufel is just being patient, just trying to nail every apex, get the exit correct. He knows it's only a matter of time, and one thing we haven't discussed in this race so far is the fact that the start finish is a DRS zone, and speaking of which, Rufel has access to DRS. It is quite a short DRS zone, but Rufel does stick the nose up the inside. Martin G did give him room there, but was able to get a better exit. He was got the wider line, which favored him in terms of momentum. Hazy is taking a position there on Pixel. Actually, Pixel is in the pits. He's coming off those ultra soft tires, so with no one left on ultra soft tires. We've got a mix of soft and medium tire runners at this time. I think Pixel actually serving a penalty. He was held a wee bit long there, maybe a technical issue. Oh, someone went very wide there on that corner. Yeah, Ruffel is putting a lot of pressure on Martin. Let's ride on board again with him. Yes, Martin G. We saw that the last lap as well. He went wide there, and this time he gets a free second time penalty. We've seen this from Martin G before. He does struggle a little bit with the track limits. And once again, it's more than likely going to have a big impact on his race finish. And Ruffel is lining up here. He's got the DRS is now open. As I just switch off him, that's terrible camera operation from me. Apologies for that. Ruffel once again not able to capitalize on it, but he capitalizes on the exit. Another DRS zone, a shorter one. And Martin G just doing enough and no more to keep that second position. And we've got a Wessel is starting to make it his way through the field. He was in 11th, now in 10th. He's on these fresh softs. He's got TZ Bro and Keyboard Magnussen ahead of him on the mediums. But these soft tires, we're going to see how much of an advantage they have. He's got the fresh softs. TZ Bro and Keyboard Magnussen on 10 lap old mediums. So there is going to be quite a difference. So interesting to see if TZ Bro, who is teammate of Wessel. Oh, Keyboard Magnussen got it wrong there. And he has lost out on 2 positions in quick succession. Keyboard Magnussen is actually out of the Grand Prix. We didn't catch that. We saw him go off, but we didn't see what actually happened to him. Maybe he's actually just retired there, but he's the 3rd non-finisher for this race. And Wessel is thinking about putting it up inside of his teammate TZ Bro. It looked like TZ Bro didn't put up too much of a fight there. Team orders may be in effect, and it's a sensible move from the team. Wessel definitely has a faster pace. We saw him on pole for the race on those ultra softs. Now we're going to see what he can do on these soft tires. He's got the DRS zone he wants to close up on. Dogobot's on those 11 lap old tires, and Marcin S as well. He's on those soft tires. He's currently in 10th position, so he's making his way through the field also. We've got Ruffel still hanging on to the back of Martin G, not able to get past. I wonder if it's a case of Ruffel just being patient. I'm sure he knows about the penalties that Martin G has, and we're saying yes. I was just thinking that it looked like he cut the corner there, and he's picked up a free second time penalty, so that's at least 6 out of 6 that we know of for Martin G. Ruffel is trying to just keep it tucked in behind Martin G. He wants to be as close as possible for this initial DRS zone on the start-finish straight. We'll just ride on board with Ruffel. He's wanting to maximize the exit. Oh, he's very close here in the final corner. He's got the DRS will open. DRS is open, and I think he is close enough to make a move. Martin G goes off the inside line a little bit, but Ruffel stays on the wide line. He's thinking about the exit, and he's got a good exit, but Martin G still able to hang it on the inside. Will Ruffel be able to do the switch back here? Martin G going for a wider line there. Might have had to lift a little bit. He went wide again. Might have picked up a warning. But once again, we've seen Ruffel. This is not a track it's easy to pass on. We're seeing it right now play it before our very eyes. And Dogobot and WA125 are in the pits, so they're coming off those medium tires. And it looks like, yeah, Dogobot has put on a, according to our information, Dogobot has put on another set of medium tires. So that is interesting. I believe they were on medium already, and they've switched to medium tires once again. So they will, I'm imagining they will have to do another pit stop, because they do need to use 2 different sets of tire compounds for the race. And we're staying on board with Ruffel. Ruffel as he gets it a wee bit wild on the exit of the final corner, and it might have compromised him. Martin G, as we see, guarding that inside line, protecting it with all he can. Ruffalo going around the outside, but getting squeezed a little bit. And he might have the inside line for turn 2. He does not. Martin G doing a great job at defending here. He's hanging on to that second position. This is going to cost Ruffalo. We can already see Martin G is 4.8 seconds behind Don Alexi in first position. And Ruffalo getting a little bit wide there. Might have picked up a warning. But Ruffalo is just struggling so hard to make it past there. And Doughmaster. Doughmaster is closing in on Exog. So Exog is up to 4th with his first round of pit stops out of the way. For some drivers, the top 5 guys have yet to pit, all on 13 lap old soft tires. But Doughmaster is our driver to watch, and that is what we are doing as we see him take position on Exog. Exog dives into the pit, so he's the first of the top 5 guys on these soft tires to pit. Very interesting stuff. We're gonna wonder when Don Alexi is gonna pit. There may well be an undercut strategy at play here for Exog. And Wessel putting in the fastest lap there, so showing great pace on this track. Obviously this is one that favors his driving style. Exog, see where he comes out. He has dropped down to 10th so far. I think he's going to come out in 10th position, so not too bad. He's remaining in the pits. He will not have any more pit stops to make after this one, so we'll try and keep an eye on him as he climbs the ranks one more. And Ruffalo, we missed it. Ruffalo has actually taken position on Martin G, and look at the gap already. Ruffalo 3-second time penalty, just went a little bit too wide there. And another one is Doughmaster, a driver to watch. He is up to 4th position. He's closing in on Martin G, so Martin G is facing all sorts of pressure. He's not getting a minute's pace here in that Sauber. And in fact, he has decided to pit, so he is dropping down. Yeah, he's dropping down the order a good bit. He'd probably come around about 7 for 8, I would imagine. Pit stop looked clean enough. Yep, he's currently in 8th position. Will he come out ahead of Hazy? Hazy. Yep, it looks like he's done enough just to come out in that 8th position, so not too bad there for Martin G. He's got a fresh set of tires on. It is the medium, the softer, or sorry, the harder tire compound, so and Wessel, the most likely fastest guy on the track at the moment, picks up a 3-second time penalty. He's in 4th position at the minute, so that may well impact his race, his finishing position for this race. Wessel just backing out there massively on that corner. So we are seeing some gaps forming here. We've got Wendy. This is battle on track. Looks like it's between T-Zebra, Wendy, and Marcinez for 5th, 6th, and 7th position. We do have Fox right up behind John McLean. Oh, and Yoko with the fastest lap. That is interesting. Now he does have the ultra soft tires on. And he's 2 laps in, so interesting stuff there as Fox goes really wide. Oh, and Doughmaster and Ruffalo have pitted. Ruffalo comes out in 6th position, ahead of Martin G, which is crucial. But Hazy, yeah, Martin G is in 7th position, so Doughmaster also pitted there. He's down into 9th, so Don Alexi and Wessel up in front there. Don Alexi 16 seconds to Wessel, who's most likely going to have to pit again. He started on those ultra soft tires, so he has went for a 2-stop strategy. But Don Alexi's on a 1-stopper, and if he was to pit now, he should come out He should come out in second, maybe third or fourth. Windy. Oh, yeah, Don Alexi's into the pits end, so Wessel still at the start of sector 3. So Don Alexi's got that 16-second gap. But that will quickly close down as Don Alexi has to obey the pit limit speed, which just feels like a crawl. You see Wessel retake the lead of this Grand Prix. It's not really track position as such, as Wessel will need to pit again, but Wessel should be able to do pretty good here if he can just keep nailing these hot laps. Every lap's going to have to be like a qualifying lap, and we've already seen him pick up a 3-second time penalty, so that is something to consider going forth. So let's we're lap 18, so we'll just have a let's refresh ourselves with what's happened so far. We've had 3 cars DNF. Marcel, who was one of the top runners for a good bit, but then he was just under constant pressure there at the top, and unfortunately paid the price. Keeper Magnussen, we saw him get it quite wild on in sector 2, and Alenser, he was the first of the DNFers, so 3 cars out. But I think the big story here is Don Alexi. Don Alexi, who's now pitted, and as I said, is come out in third. So he crucially is ahead of Ruffel, but Ruffel is only 1.4 seconds behind, and TZ Bro is 0.6 behind Ruffel. So still some good racing ahead of us. We're now in lap 19 with, what was that, 17 laps to go then. So let's see if we can catch some action on track as Martin G is on these medium tires. TZ Bro is on 18 lap old mediums, but he's still making them work. So they're still looking like they're doing the job for now. Yoko, the only driver on Ultra Softs, he's 4 laps into those, but will need to pit at least one more time. Unfortunately for him, he won't get a point. Oh, Martin G had to just cut that chicane completely there. He will pick up a warning for that, but he didn't get a penalty, which is good. John McLean, as I say, that gets a penalty. 3 seconds added to his name at the end of the Grand Prix. He's currently in 12th, so looks like he's struggling there. And Hazy is still showing his 1 lap down, which is bizarre. Yeah, Martin G, another time penalty. So I think he's got at least 9. He could well have 12 to this point, which, if you look at the standings and the intervals, that will cost him massively. He may drop him out of the points. Don Alexi is closing up on Martin S. These guys are teammates. And Don Alexi is maintaining position, but Ruffel, this is going to play into his hands. He's quite the opportunist. We've seen him go around wide. He's actually made the move, almost made the move stick by turn 2. But Martin squeezing him wide. He wants to let him know he's not going to be a pushover. He's not going to make this easy for Ruffel. And as we've seen with Ruffel and Martin, yeah, Martin G. Now I do get Martin G and Marcel mixed up, but Ruffel has struggled to get past and put the overtake on cars here. So Martin, who is at a disadvantage, Martin is on the 12 lap old sauce, so that needs to be taken into account here as he tries to do everything he can to hold off Ruffel. If not for himself, for his teammate Don Alexi, who's in prime position actually to win this Grand Prix. So this is music to Don Alexi's ears. The gap to Ruffel was from Don Alexi was about 1.4, but is now about 2.1 seconds. So this is great stuff for Don Alexi. Martin goes very defensive early on, almost off track there as he hugs the hoarding boards and keeps that inside line. Now we've seen that inside line is crucial, but the inside line for turn 2 is crucial as well, and it's almost a mirror image of the previous lap. Martinez again trying to squeeze him out. Is Ruffel managing him? Yep, Ruffel now pacing back, squeezes him out. And that was quite a move from Ruffel. He wasn't going to take no prisoners there, and Martin thankfully survived that squeeze. Some great racing here from Ruffel as he's in the second now. He will try to close down that gap, and we've already seen that gap closing down a little bit there. He's around about 2.1 seconds behind Don Alexi. And while that action was happening, Wessel pitted. He is now on the soft tire, so he's in 9th position, which isn't great at this time, but there's 14 laps. He will not need to pit again, and he is on fresh sauce. So we're going to see him making his way through the field as Hazy gets up at the 4th position. So he's past Martin G, and it looks like Doughmaster also is going to take position on Martin G on that final corner. DRS is open, but it's a DRS train here. Martin G going for that favorite inside line. Hazy able to hold on to position. Martin G, it looked like Doughmaster actually lost out the most on that. He dropped down to 6th position. Exog was able to capitalize on that. That's just right on board with Doughmaster. Martin G going really, really wide. I mean, that's the widest you could possibly go without killing yourself. And Martin G just pulls off the track completely. I thought he was actually going to retire there. He might well do that, you know. Yeah, there's some issues happening with Martin G. I'm not sure what it is, but I think he's actually retiring. He's down to 8th here. Not a massive issue. I'm not sure what happened there now. It may be a technical issue. Hopefully he gets that sorted. Doesn't look like he's retired for now. Oh, and just about got a massive tank slapper on. I was able to hold that. I wonder if Martin G, he looks like he doesn't like these tires at all. So I wonder if he may come in and pit for sauce. And Ruffel is closing in at the top. Yeah, as suspected, Martin G is actually going to pit. Now, I imagine he's going to put on the soft tire compound. It's not quite. The Ultras would not be able to make it to the end of the Grand Prix, I believe, but let's see what he does. It may actually be a front wing change here as well. Maybe. No front wing change, but he is going for the soft tire compound. He's actually retired. He's actually retired in the pits. So that is unfortunate. Martin G is out of the Grand Prix. Wendy, we've seen him struggling here at the back. He's on 5-lap-old medium tires. And he is fighting hard now with Martin S. And this is for 9th and 10th position with TZ Bro in 11th. So a nice little battle forming here for this final point paying position. Only getting a bit wider, might have picked up a warning. Martin S is on the soft tires, fresh set of softs, so you might see him start to pull out a bit of a gap here to Wendy, but we have seen Wendy, he's a teammate of Ruffel, and both drivers for the Force India, very, very fast indeed. And let's go right up top. One guy we have not really talked about much so far is Hazy. Excuse me. Sorry, just had a coughing fit there. Yeah, but one driver we haven't really talked about much here is Hazy, as Exog tries to send out up the inside for turn 2. But Hazy's got the inside line, gets squeezed a little bit there, but it just looks like he lifted a tiny bit, and Exog takes that position. That's 3rd position for Exog. And these top 3 guys, we should see these tires run to the end of the race, but Hazy will need to pit again. In fact, Hazy may well pit on this lap, but it is a pretty decent debut by Hazy. We know that he's been promoted from Split 2, and so far is hanging in there. He will need to do another pit stop, so he will drop down to around about 10th position. He may well come out in the midst of that battle with Martinez, Wendy, and TZ Bro. Doughmaster, yes, as suspected, Hazy is indeed pitting. Dumaster takes position then from Hazy. He's now into fourth, and Wessel is on a charge on those soft tires. He has made up quite a number of positions and is went on the inside of Dumaster. Dumaster tried to squeeze him on the apex. Wessel is just in a league of his own here in this race in Hungary. Dumaster fighting back for turn 2, but Wessel, no. Wessel stamping his authority on this position. Fourth is mine. Back off, Dumaster. And while we've been watching that action, another battle we need to mention is this one for the lead of the Grand Prix. Can Ruffel take another race win? We've seen this in Silverstone. He hung on to the bitter end behind his teammate Windy, kept the lap throughout all laps of the race, down to around about 1 second or below, and on the final laps of Silverstone he was able to take position on Windy. And we're wondering if this is what he's doing again. He's lining up Donald. He's 0.7. He is getting the DRS now, so he's able to chip away at that lead lap on lap. Again, this DRS section, short DRS section before turn 2, it'll just enable him just to chip away at that lead. But as we've seen before, he's had quite a number of battles and he has struggled to pass, but he does have that experience now. And even though Donald has 1 lap less on those tires, Windy's up to 8th position. He takes position on Fox there. So there is Marson S. Windy have moved up into 7th and 8th position, but I'm staying with these guys at the front. Look at the gap there, 0.4 seconds. I think we're going to see this every time they cross the line. The gap is going to come down somewhat. Ruffel has that DRS now available to him in 2 zones. We've seen Ruffel is a patient driver. He kind of just chips away and then it pounces at the most opportune moment, and it looks like he's doing that again here today. And Wessel is now making a move on Exog. He made that look easy. The DRS obviously gave him a bit of a boost there, but Wessel is on a charge, and interesting, he is 6 seconds behind Ruffel, so he's on these soft tires, so he will want to bring that gap down. There's Hazy has set a fastest lap of 118.396 on those soft tires, so that is interesting. Previous that I think it was an ultra soft tire compound that held the hot lap record for this race, and now we're seeing these soft tires come into their own. I'm just keeping an eye on this gap here. So Wessel is making up position here, or making up time here. He's down to 5.5. We do believe Wessel has a 3-second time penalty at least, but he is on a charge. The question is, when will those soft tires start to lose performance? We've seen other drivers pitting around about 13 laps in, so we will have maybe 5, 6, 7 laps in which to play with. He's 5.4, 5.3 behind Ruffel now, but what may play in his favor is the fact that Ruffel and Don Alexi are in battle. They're not battling too hard at this time, but that may well play into Wessel's hands. And another driver we haven't really mentioned today is Wow125, who is right behind Dumaster. Now, this is an interesting one. Wow125 is on medium tires, 15 lap old, and just how long can these medium tires hold out for is a good question. The one we will find the answer out to very soon, I believe. And he is closing up on Dumaster nicely. Dumaster also on the medium, but Dumaster, interesting enough, has fresher mediums on. He's 11 laps there. box for a 3-second time penalty. It looks like Wow is just getting a bit more confidence going through that sector 2. He's staying close behind. Oh, looks like he dipped the tire on the curb there, and that might have cost him a little bit on his exit. We're lining up for a good exit from this one. This is a crucial corner. And DRS is activated. So Martin G out of the Grand Prix. Kieber Magnussen out of the Grand Prix. Marcel and Alencer out of the Grand Prix. But 15 drivers remain, and they are fighting hard tooth and nail for every position, for every inch of track. And while 125 is right behind. Oh, we've got a change position here with TZ Bro and Martin, and almost going free wide into corner. There is some contact, and TZ Bro has got past Hazy, so Hazy now on 4 laps. So the soft Hazy has pitted. He's put on the soft tires. That can't be right though. It can't be 4 lap old tires. Surely we haven't done 4 laps since we were last riding on board with Hazy. So his, for some reason, his the information we're getting for Hazy is not quite reliable at this time. But look at this battle here. TZ Bro is mounting the pressure on Martin S. Wendy up the road there in 7th. There's a bit of a gap. See how much he closes up there under the braking zone. You see just how more aggressive this style of TZ Bro. Martin S is a bit more smoother, but TZ Bro is a really aggressive driving style. It can be costly as a margin for error is quite slim, but isn't close enough to do anything right now. And there has been a change at the top of the standings. Rufel has got past Don Alexi. We missed that one. But look at that already. There's a gap of 0.6. Oh, and a mistake from Rufel there. Was it a mistake? Was it him just using all the track that was available to him? He did dip the tire into the dirt. Didn't cost him anything, but yeah, that's unusual. We don't really see many errors from Rufel these days. But these tires are getting double digits now. We got 14 laps now for Rufel on those mediums, and 13 for Don Alexi. With a yellow flag in sector 3. And maybe Yoko looks like he's ghosted for now. So Rufel able to take the lead off the Grand Prix, but this Grand Prix isn't over yet. Don Alexi still may well put a final push on. He's still in that DRS range, and another driver is not too far back is Wessel, 4 seconds behind Don Alexi. Don Alexi cannot afford to take it easy. As I say that, Wessel picks up a 3-second time penalty, and that's at least 6 seconds will be added to Wessel's time at the end of the Grand Prix, so he may well lose out on this podium position, which would have been his best finish for season 8, although 4th isn't bad either. And Hazy is staying on the back of Martin S here, but TZ Bro right behind Hazy. This looks to be the closest battle on track. These 3 guys are fighting over the last points pen position, so a lot to play for still, as we have got 4 laps remaining. It looks like Rufel, he's almost out of DRS range. He's got the gap to 0.8 on Don Alexi. Wessel not able to really close the gap in. He's in 3rd position, but he's 4 seconds behind Don Alexi with only 4 laps remaining. Wessel will want to keep pushing though. He wants to get that gap to 4th position Exog. I'm not sure if Exog has any time penalties, but we do know Wessel has at least 2 at this time. And Dumaster as well. Dumaster, I don't know if Dumaster has any time penalties, so he, depending on what penalties the other drivers have, this may well play into the hands of Dumaster. So Exog, Dumaster, they are looking in contention for that podium spot. Marcin S looks like he's struggling a little bit on this track. Hazy is giving him a good run for his money. He's got fresher softs on here than Marcin. The question is, oh, and there's contact. He hits Marcin. And it looked like Marcin might have done a little cheeky brake check there, but TZ Bro is benefited from that incident and taking position from Hazy, so drops Hazy down to 10th. Dogobot with a time penalty, and Hazy is dropping back a little bit here. That contact with Marcin, it might have caused some damage, but it's definitely throwing Hazy off his rhythm. This is the closest battle on track, with the Dogobot puts in a 1:17.1 on Ultra Softs. He's back in 13th. I don't think he is going to be able to finish in the points, but he obviously wants to get that hot lap on the board. He's Bro with a time penalty, and there has been a change of position. Wessel dropping down the order. There has been an incident. Now, he did have a gap to the guy behind him, so this looks like it might have been a driver error, and that's moved Dumaster and Exog up into 4th and 3rd. And I believe what has happened there is Wessel has been pushing just that little bit too hard and might have lost it in sector 3. He is down to 5th position now, so still all to play for. There's 2 laps remaining in this Grand Prix, but Exog now looks like he might get a podium position finish. Dumaster as well, he's in contention, he's in 4th position. He now sees podium position right up ahead of him. That will spur him on, and that will give him the hunger, the desire, the inspiration to try and push on here as he locks up a little bit. So he just doesn't want to push too hard now and lose any positions due to driver error, which is so easy to do on this track. Has he 3-second time penalty? Dumaster has a gap at around 1.2 to Exog, so dropping back a little bit. Fox with another time penalty, so plenty of time penalties in Hungary. We suspected that at the start of the race, and it's came true. Just so many places you can just lose it. And Dumaster, still the gap remains around about 1.2. This is the final lap of the Grand Prix. This is the closest gap we can see on track now. Actually, as I say that, Wa125 makes a move on Wessel. Wessel might have picked up damage there because he's dropping back, and he's even being passed by Windy. So Wessel is down into 7th. He still has his time penalties to be added on to his time at the finish of the Grand Prix. So Wa125 up to 5th. Windy into 6th. We did see Windy. I believe Windy was right at the back of the field at one point in this Grand Prix, but he has just been chipping away, keeping his head down, and at the 6th. And there is a yellow flag in sector 2. Is that any of the front runners? No, it is not. Dumaster's got the gap to Exog down to 0.6, so maybe Exog is made a slight mistake there. Don't think he's going to be able to close this gap up in the final 2 corners, but 0.5 is the interval time, and Don Alexi takes the Grand Prix. Don Alexi wins the Grand Prix. So, unbeknownst to me, Ruffel had at least, it looks like he may well have had 6 seconds of time penalties. So that is a complete shocker there. Don Alexi, well deserved. Great race from Don Alexi. Actually takes the win and breaks the winning streak of Rufel. Rufel in second position. So Exog, let's have a look down the order. Exog in third. Doommaster in fourth. Wendy gets himself up to fifth. And Wessel. We've seen a great Grand Prix from him. Unfortunately, it fell apart at the end. But he is down in sixth. Some great points for him. Marson S in seventh, so not a bad Grand Prix from him. Gets himself a handful of points, but what a shocking finish to this Grand Prix. I was so engrossed in the battle between Domaster closing up on Exog. Actually missed out on the fact that Rufel had time penalties. And we will see just how many time penalties in a moment as the drivers celebrate on the podium. Don Alexi, I wonder if he himself knew about those penalties that Rufel had picked up. Yep, Rufel, unbeknownst to me, 6-second time penalty, so missed out on those penalties coming up on the screen, but that is so interesting. Look at that, 6-second time penalties, but still managed to finish in second. So we've got first Don Alexi, and Don Alexi and Marson S actually are the only drivers that I can see right there that yep, they're the only drivers that had a clean no penalties. Yeah, they had no penalties added this race, so, and we've seen how that paid off massively for Don Alexi, who takes the Grand Prix win and takes all 25 points. Rufel then, he finished in second. Exog takes third position. Great race from Exog. The Brazilian able to come in there in third position, had 3 seconds of time penalties. And just behind him, Domaster in fourth position, who also had 3-second time penalties. And that's unfortunate. If Domaster was able to not have any time penalties, he would have got onto the podium today. Wendy in fifth position. Wessel, he dropped down to sixth. Marson seventh. Wow 125. Yep, and Wow 125. He had 15 seconds of penalty, so that dropped him down. I believe he was across the line in fifth. Dropped down to eighth position. Then we see ninth. T-Zebro with 9-second time penalty. And Hazy in his debut race for Split 1. He picks himself up a point there. Very nicely done. Worth mentioning, Fox holding the record for the most time penalties, I believe. Yep, 21 seconds. That's impressive stuff from him. And unfortunately, Martin G there, he was one of the front runners, as well as Marcel, but they both did not finish. Keyboard Magnuson out as well, and Lenser. And yep, that wraps it up for the Hungarian Grand Prix SOR. That was the 100th race. We did have to rerun the race there, so maybe we'll call this 100.1 race for SOR. Despite the technical issue, we were able to get the full race underway. What a race it was. My name is Ocean Chief. Thank you for joining me, and we will be back next week with let's see, next week we are racing in, I believe, yeah, we're in, yes, wow, I just had to double check that, but it's Spa next week, one of my favorite tracks, and I'm looking forward to calling that one. Thanks again, guys, for joining us on the stream. My name is Ocean Chief. We will catch you again next week. Thanks very much. Bye bye.